So apparently, James Gunn is scrambling, and James Gunn thought he could reinvent Superman his way, pack it with jokes, shove in political jabs, and call it a reboot. But now, James Gunn is watching everything fall apart as Superman goes through reshoots, re edits, and panic level course corrections. Now, as you all know, Warner Brothers handed James Gunn the keys to Superman, and now they're realizing he may not have known how to drive the car in the first place. You see, you got $300 million Superman movie that was supposed to be bulletproof, basically, but instead, a lot of insiders are leaking that test screenings were so mixed they actually triggered a full-blown overhaul. Now, Gunn was supposed to just was still asked to make changes. We had scenes to cut, editors replaced, jokes scrapped, and music recomposed. Now, Superman was supposed to be a fresh start, and now it's already a Frankenstein project with duct tape holding it together. And that's before a single ticket is sold. All right. Now, honestly, the craziest part is that James Gunn built the career, mocking corporate interference, basically, where he bragged about not needing reshoots, but with Superman, apparently, he folded. Now, Warner Brothers didn't like what they saw in those early cuts, and Gunn didn't double down. You see, he backed down. And that tells you everything right there. It's not just about creative vision anymore. It's actually about damage control at this point. So James Gunn knows that if Superman flops, his entire DCU say may get burned to the ground before it even launches. Okay, but I mean, honestly, let's not pretend this is just some sort of typical editing. They remove a reported 25 minutes of footage. They remove an editor mid-process. They also brought in, another composer that didn't happen unless things are broken. Okay, so basically, Superman is supposed to be clean cut, timeless, inspiring, but instead, it seems like it's coming out the gate looking like basically a lab experiment that's gone wrong. Now, James Gunn promised fans that this is going to honor the character itself, but what we're seeing is a studio gutting a movie by James Gunn just to try to make it palatable. Now, Superman has too much riding on it to fail, and it's not just a movie, but it's supposed to be a rescue mission for the DC brand. Now, if Gunn messes this up, Warner Brothers won't have another reboot in their pocket. I mean, they already spent their goodwill with The Flash, along with Aquaman 2, Black Adam, and Blue Beetle. I mean, all them bombs, all the money losers, and James Gunn's Superman is their last bullet, and the way they're treating it says they know that it might miss the target. Now, the tone of the original James cut was apparently packed with a lot of humor, and not the kind of humor that lands. You see, the kind of humor that makes you cringe in your seat and ask, did they really just joke about the Snyder cut and everything? I mean, that's what fans said after those test screenings, according to reports. It has a lot of political jabs, corny gags, a tone that undercut the gravitas of Superman, basically. So, what did Warner Brothers do? They told Gunn to rein it in, and that's the course correction. Well, that's what the course correction was about. But you know what's bad when even the composer has to be swapped out basically this late in the game. Now the score was changed weeks before release, and that right there screams tonal confusion. I mean, you don't bring in a second composer unless you're trying to slap a new mood onto something that doesn't feel right. I mean, it's not like James Gunn doesn't know what he wants. He just couldn't, apparently, according to Warner Brothers, make it work with Superman. Now, Warner Brothers knows it, DC knows it, and everyone's bracing for this. Now, David Zaslav is looking at Gunn like this better work or he's next. Now, basically, Superman isn't just a character, it's the foundation. I mean, this is supposed to be DC's Iron Man moment, their comeback, and yet James Gunn is chopping it up like it's a student film, basically, changing the tone, shortening the runtime, cutting plot lines, bringing in editors and composers last minute. I mean, that's a salvage operation right there, if anything. But when you throw, out 25 minutes of footage, you're not just trimming fat, you're actually removing the bones too. But what got cut exactly? What scenes were too embarrassing for even James Gunn to defend? I mean, fans have already heard about, mutant monkey trolls and bizarre Lex Luthor subplots. I mean, maybe those are gone, maybe not. But if those made it in originally, it tells you Gunn's vision of Superman wasn't just risky, it was reckless. And this wasn't the first time that they did this. They did this with, Justice League, the theatrical cut, and then later on released the Snyder cut of the Justice League. But look, nobody's fooled by the PR spin anymore, and every change screams fear. Gunn said he doesn't do reshoots, and now he's doing reshoots. James Gunn said he was confident in his Superman cut, and now that cut doesn't even exist. You see, Warner Brothers is calling the shots, and Gunn is just trying to go ahead and keep his job. I mean, this is basically corporate panic right now, dressed up like artistic refinement, if you will. Now, Superman is supposed to be about hope, clarity, and strength, but what we're getting sounds like a confused mess being duct taped together in real time. And James Gunn, the guy who was brought in to just clean up DC, is now just trying to not become another casualty. You see, he's got the keys to the kingdom, and now he's finding out what it means when you drop the ball on the most iconic superhero in history. Okay, and let's be honest, since Joker in 2019, DC has been a joke basically. The only other win was the Batman, and everything else was garbage. The Flash was embarrassing. Aquaman 2 was forgettable. Black Adam, I actually liked that, but at the same time, that didn't really do well in the box office. Beetle was an instant flop, and Joker 2 already looking like a divisive musical gamble. Now, James Gunn's Superman is supposed to be the fix, but instead, it's starting to look like another punchline. Now, the budget is, as I've said, over $300 million for Superman. That's Avengers level money, and they're already tinkering with it like it's broken. But if James Gunn had delivered the solid product, I mean, they wouldn't be changing the tone itself, firing editors and gutting scenes. They'd be actually marketing it with confidence. But instead, it's all whispers, leaks, and spin. And Warner Brothers is actually holding its breath, hoping this thing doesn't implode. Now, what about the audience and stuff? You know, the people who grew up on Superman. You see, the ones who actually care about legacy and character. I'm not just talking about Snyder fans, but gun fans alike. They're watching this unfold and seeing the same old pattern. Studios that ignore the source material, directors who think they're smarter than the fan base, and executives who only fix things when the focus group tells them that it's too late. Gunn's Superman is walking straight into that trap, okay? And this isn't about, hating James Gunn, it's about accountability. You see, he said Superman was his passion project. He said he understood the character. But I mean, if he really understood Superman, he wouldn't have needed about 25 minutes chopped, basically. Reshoots scheduled and the score redone weeks out. I mean, it sounds to me like this is a guy who's trying to patch holes in a sinking ship, and Warner Brothers doesn't like what he put out there. Now, fans are bracing for impact, and Superman is the litmus test of the entire DCU reboot. If Gunn fails here, it's not over. It's just over him for him, but the entire slate. Because if you can't make Superman work, nothing else matters. I mean, you don't recover from that, and James Gunn knows it. You see, that's why every headline is now about course correction and runtime change, but instead of excitement. So basically, let's just wait this out. We can watch and we can hold our breath like Warner Brothers is, because James Gunn put everything on the line for Superman, and right now it looks like the house is on fire. I mean, there's no more excuses, no more second chances. Superman has to deliver, and James Gunn has to go ahead and prove that he's more than just talk. Because, well, if this fails, he's taking the entire DC universe down with him. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed what was shared in the video. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for future uploads, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, peace.